们真把这个家当神的家来爱它。
Brothers and sisters, let's all love this house as God's
我
house.
希望 every single one 每一个人都来爱。
I pray that every single one of us would love this house.
你真爱神的家，
When you truly love the house of God,
不要说在聚会的里面，我们会带着基督丰盛的恩典而来。
and not to say that when you come and partake of a service, you would bring with the grace of God
我
with
不会
you.
那样说要空空的来，
And you won't come empty-handed.
每一个人空空的来，谁饱饱的回去啊？
If everybody comes empty, who's going to go away full?
要为聚会祷告，要带着恩典，带着基督的恩典，来跟大家分享。
Pray for your gatherings. Bring the grace of God with you.
你真把教会当神的家。
If you truly treat this church as the house of God,
你在走道上、餐厅看到地上有垃圾，你不会说今天不是轮值，我不是轮值，所以你就不捡它。
you won't walk outside and along the way. You see garbage on the ground. You say, "Well, it's not my turn to serve, so I'm not going to pick it up."
你本能就会捡起它来。
Your very nature would bend down and pick that up.
有人来到我们中间，看到我们吃完饭的盘子放得这么整齐，还照了相带回去给他们教会看。这是矽谷基督徒聚会，居然这么有秩序。
And they saw the plates stacked up in one column after a meal. Somebody from outside actually took a picture, brought it home, and said, "Look how orderly SVCA is."
你看几个月前我们已经乱七八糟了，
A couple of months ago, you discovered we were a mess.
还好同工们现在开始恢复，借着 Super Mario 提醒我们。
And we thank God that our co-workers made a wonderful short film through Super Mario Brothers to remind us.
当你看到那些小孩子在外面追啊跑啊撞来撞去，你不是他爸爸，你也应该停下他来。
You see kids running around like chickens with their heads chopped off. Even if you're not their parents, you need to stop them from running.
不光要让他们知道这是神的家，不是给你这样乱跑的，
You need to let them know this is the house of God. You don't run around like this.
而且更要小心，你在转弯突然撞到一个老人家，撞到一个孕妇，你给人家造成多大的伤害
But
啊！
more importantly, unknowingly, you may run into an elderly or run into someone who's pregnant. You could bring them harm.
你不要说哦，那是我们小组长的儿子，我不敢。
You don't say that is my small group lead's kid, and I don't dare to say
弟
anything.
兄姊妹，该保护就该出来保护。
Brother and sister, if it is time to protect, it is time to protect.
有一个日本妈妈，有一次，那是大概10年前来我们教会接她的孩子。
There's a mom of Japanese descent. She came to our church to pick up her kid.
她碰到我，她说 Pastor you， 她说我很惊讶，你们怎么教你们的下一代？
And Pastor, she said to me, Pastor, I'm shocked. I'm really surprised how you raise up your next generation.
她说你们年轻的孩子居然会跟我们大人打招呼。
And the young people at your church actually greeted us.
她说我们日本教会里面那些孩子从来不跟大人打招呼的。
At the churches in Japan, the kids never says hello to the adults.
我跟你说，我现在在教会走路都得我主动跟人家打招呼。
And I tell you, everywhere I go in God's house, I would take the initiative to say hi.
已经越来越少年轻人懂得打招呼。
There are fewer and fewer young people says hi to the adults.
我跟你说，教会的见证、教会的风气，你退一步，仇敌一定多走一步。
I will tell you the movement and the culture within the house of God. If we pull back one step, the enemy will move forward one step.
有一次，有个弟兄来到我们教会以后跟我讲，他说：“于弟兄，我非常失望，我进了男生厕所，看你们厕所地上这个样子，不太像你们教会。”
And there's a brother, again, visiting brother, and he comes into the men's bathroom, and he says, when I go to the urinal and I see what's on the ground, I said, this is not what I know of
我
SVCA.
在讲台上也跟弟兄姊妹讲过，
And so I speak to all of you here on the pulpit.
我到中国，公车停下来，路上休息站上厕所，墙壁上都贴一句话啊：往前一小步，文明一大步。读过没有？
And all over the buses in China, you would see this one particular display as telling men, if you take one small step forward, it's a huge lead for all of mankind.
连世界上的人都在乎所谓的见证。
And so even the people of this world, they care about the testimony.
他说：“你们教会男生的厕所让我很失望。”
He
这
says-
句话打得我痛得不得了
He。says the men's bathroom here at SVCA caused me some despair, and it really hurt my heart.
所以很多的时候，我抓了一些 paper towel，我就在地上擦你们的尿，你知道吗？
So, brothers, a lot of times when I go to use the urinal, I would grab the paper towel, I would wipe up the urine on the ground.
要把它当神家、神的家来爱。
Because this is the house of God that we love.
我们所有所做所行都在彰显神的荣耀。
Everything that we do, everything that we say is to display the glory of God.
你服事上疲倦，服事上受伤，我们非常能了解，找人交通，一起克服，不要打退堂鼓。
If you're tired, you're weary, come, let's talk, let's share, let's fellowship, let's find a way, let's find support. Don't give up.
你觉得家里太忙，实在分不出身，家里孩子、妻子都需要你，你找人为你祷告，大家可以了解我，一起来帮助你。
And you're really, really busy at work, and it's just in a season where it's just overloaded. Grab brother and sister, let's pray together. We understand.
但是外面，就算你没有什么服侍，你不能够成为一个 idol。不 active 的人，不参与聚会的人。
Even if you are not currently partaking in a particular ministry, you cannot be someone that is idle, someone that is just merely attending a service.
孩子生病发烧了，你不能来聚会，你不能来，没关系，你抱着孩子为教会祷告。
And when your kids are sick at home, they're running a fever, you can't come to church, that's okay. Embrace your kid, pray for your church.
我们太多事情可以做了。
There's so many things we can do concurrently.
要为了爱耶稣而做。
Do it for the sake of loving Jesus.
Brother Lawrence 说，你如果为了爱耶稣的缘故，就算从地上捡起一根线来，都比你做很多这个看起来大事还更有价值。
Brother Lawrence says that if you picked up a single thread on the ground because you love Jesus, it may be greater than any great things that you have done.
弟兄姊妹，我们希望我们在一起加油哈。那我们这次不久以前刚刚有一次博训的特会。
Brothers and sisters, I pray that we would continue to encourage one another. And seated training, we had a special conference recently.
因为场地有限，报名的人太多。
And because of the limitation of the campsite, we have to restrict the people that can attend.
床位根本不够用。
And there's not enough beds for everyone.
同工发出了一封信，说我们需要有18位姊妹肯睡在地板上打地铺。
And coworkers sent out a newsletter or sent out a notice and said we need 18 sisters that be willing to sleep on the ground.
不到12个小时，已经好几十位报名，到最后超过100多个人报名。
And within 12 hours, so many sisters registered. And even in the hundreds.
甚至有妈妈说，我愿意带着我的2个小孩来打地铺，把床位让给别人。
And there's even a mom that says, "I will sleep on the ground with my kids, that my bed be given to someone else."
弟兄姊妹，这个叫做神的家。
Brother and sister, this is an example of the household of God.
我不是被强迫做这些事。
I am never forced to do any of these
我
things.
是因为爱耶稣，爱他的家。
I do it because I love Jesus. I love His house.
所以在以色列那些仆人服侍7年可以走的。
And so those servants in the Old Testament, after they serve for 7 years, they are allowed to go free.
他们说：“我爱我的主人和他的一家，我不愿意自由出去了。”
But if they say, "I love my master, I love his house," I will not go out free.
他们就要把耳朵在门上打一个洞，做个记号，永远为这个家而活。
And they'll take their ear and go onto the door frame, and put a hole in it and say, "I will forever serve this house."
弟兄姊妹，你不用出去打耳洞，我都希望我们每一个人耳朵都有这个洞。
Brother and sister, you don't need to physically go do this, but spiritually, I pray that it's evident within you.
我爱我的主，我爱他的一家。
I love my Jesus. I love his house.
我说我累，我真的累。我常常早上4、5点从床上滚下来，就是想到，我希望能够把神的话讲得清楚。
Brother and sister, when I tell you that I'm tired, I oftentimes am tired. I wake up 4 or 5 in the morning. I get on my knees. I say, "God, help me to be able to articulate your words clearly."
如果不是神的爱，我没有这个力量的。
If it is not for the love of the Lord, I would not find that strength in me.
弟兄姊妹，我们一起加油。
Brother and sister, let's encourage one another.
我们都是世界不配有的人。
We are people that the world is not worthy of.
不要被这个世界的王用尽了你所有的力量，来到神家一直叫累、疲倦，心没有办法安静下
Do
来。
not allow the king of this world to exhaust you to the extent that when you come into the house of God, you said, "I am tired for anything
要主
else."
开我们的眼睛了，
May the Lord open our eyes.
要来就来真的。
Well, we're going to do this. Let's do it for real.
Let God be God。
Let God be God.